Now, a Talk Radio 1210 WPHT special presentation.
It's the end of the world.
Hey, Nero, let's put a trigger warning on trigger warnings.
One day I have a dishwasher dry.
I gotta take it on the other side.
That's right. We're back again with another Other Side podcast. Dan Borowski here with Anthony DiRenzo. I'm from the Dom Giordano program. Anthony from Kale and Company, Dawn Stenson. And Anthony, happy holidays, man. Anything big going on in the DiRenzo household as we lead up to the big day?
Getting all the holiday parties in. I'll be up in Connecticut, so trying to see as many people as I can. But it's good. It's hectic. It's good though. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrate. So
put up my tree. Looks pretty decent,
oh,
right?
look at that.
Yeah, it's not bad.
That looks good. And
artificial
that's fake.
trees look so much like the real thing now. Yeah, it's fake.
I don't know. We had this debate on the morning show. I just think it's so nice just being able to bring in the artificial tree, put it in and out of the basement or the attic, whatever. It's easier. I do like the nostalgia of having a real tree, but then there's people like you who you would, even if you wanted a real tree, you can't.
I know, I'm such an a-hole.
Yes, you're not. You're
Yeah,
you're allergic. It's fine.
Yeah, but I feel like those kids, like when their parents bring them out, and they're like, "Nah, you can't have peanuts." Yeah, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, it's not like a Reese's cup though. Come on.
Have you gotten a bigger tree, or are you still doing the same treats you guys had before?
Nah, yeah, we're just using whatever, just tiny. It's whatever. I'm in a small apartment. I don't need a 18-foot tree.
Nothing huge.
Yeah.
Hey, so Dom and I, we were talking about before we get into the thick of things today. There is a local school district that told its bus drivers that they can't celebrate Christmas, they can't decorate their buses in the inside, and can't play, Christmas music, or I think it was worded as religious holiday music. What are your thoughts on the whole? Because you often hear conservatives complain about, oh, they're coming for Christmas, they're coming for their holiday. But this right here is kind of evidence that there are people coming for Christmas. So where do you stand on it?
I just think everyone wants to stir up controversy wherever they can. You don't even see this. Most years we don't see things like this happen. I'm surprised that it's this late in the game, a week before, and we're finally hearing about something like this. Especially with Hanukkah started last week, if I'm not wrong. I think. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure it did. So either way, any sort of symbolism for this time of year, haven't we come to a consensus that we kind of celebrate and accept everything? Like, isn't that?
That's right.
Yeah. Even when we were young, when I went to school, I remember them mentioning Hanukkah, mentioning Kwanzaa, mentioning, like, it wasn't, I always said Merry Christmas. Nobody got necessarily offended by it, but like, it was just everyone accepted that there were other cultures that did other things. Yeah. It's just like you accepted, like, oh, people in the Jewish community go to the NBA games on Christmas because it's not a holiday to them. It's just like a weekend day. And they always
been going on forever too. Like,
yeah.
Like I can't remember. Like, why is this all of a sudden a controversial thing? Like Irving Berlin, for example, who wrote White Christmas. Obviously, God Bless America too. He's a Jewish guy. Like a Jewish person's behind one of the biggest Christmas songs of all time. I don't know why we're trying to turn it into a political issue, but yeah,
exactly. Well, especially locally like that, you're gonna try to like tear kids apart and be like, oh well, what do you celebrate? And it's just a cultural thing in America. Even if you don't celebrate Christmas, it's a time people appreciate, and I think most religions have some sort of symbolistic holiday like this. So it's just insane. Nothing goes away without being some sort of controversy now, the more we like move forward with things.
Yeah, it's some memo that was sent out. It's let me get it right, just to Wallingford Swarthmore School District. A memo set out, district employees displaying Christmas-themed decoration and or wearing clothes of the same nature. No more of that. Went on to say bus drivers remove anything specific to the Christmas holiday, other decorations relating to a specific religion. In addition, employees are instructed not to wear clothing related to Christmas or other religious holidays, and don't play Christmas music or music related to any other religion, the memo concluded.
Does that include like a wreath?
I think so.
That's
like, how
crazy.
Are wreaths offensive?
Yeah.
It's asinine, dude. So what's going on with you? How was your day? What's going on in the Dawn Show? What you want to talk about today?
I know we don't always do this, and maybe, they're always like, don't talk about sports, but I'm going to lead with this. The Flyers, the Inquirer had a write-up, and actually the Flyers Instagram and social media across the board, Twitter as well, if you want to check that out, They just posted a video, and Danny Briere is speaking with the team and the fathers of the players.
Oh, I have
And
that for you.
okay, awesome. So yeah, let's take a listen. But just before we watch, the team had a father-son road trip out there in Nashville, and this was a little bit of how we saw Danny Briere present the players and their fathers. Listen in.
Here we go. Sound.
Take a couple minutes to welcome all the dads, brothers, son. We even have a stepson or a stepdad here. Don't see him where he's at. Thanks for joining us. I had the chance to do it as a player a couple times over the course of my career, and it's one of the greatest thing I've had the chance to share with my dad. So thank you for what you've done, and hopefully you get a glimpse of what your sons are going through. It's a pretty special life, playing the NHL, so hopefully we can give you a few days of tasting it. I spoke to Torts, and for tonight, he said no curfew, but only for the dads. Boys, go get us some wins. Thank you for being here.
It gives them a chance to see how they're doing at this particular time in their life, in their sport. And as much time as they've put into it, all the stories of driving them everywhere, buying equipment, doing this, that, the other thing for them. To see.
So what I'm gathering here is a really cool tradition that they do. Flyers and their dads come out to watch them and spend some time with them. And what an awesome move by Danny, man. What great things they're doing over there.
I mean, I obviously we've been talking about the Eagles all season. A lot of people have been down on whether the Sixers or the Flyers would be relevant. I think both of them are proving that they can be relevant. And I mean, the Flyers specifically, I haven't felt this excited for the Flyers team. I mean, I can't. Maybe like 2010 when they made it to Stanley Cup. Like, I am genuinely very, very excited. I think Danny Briere bringing back something like this and making it like a family team again. I know we've been talking down on, the corporate Comcast effect after the Snyders left and the focus on gritty, but it really seems like, man, Jonesy and Briere have this team in a different state of mind. And I know that like with the corny music and stuff a little bit gets to you, but it is wholesome. And like, this does matter to teams. And I think just watching the Flyers play, you could tell they're playing like they're brothers.
Like some of my greatest memories growing up before Briere, I loved watching Briere, don't get me wrong, but it was watching Jonesy, Lindros, LeClaire, Recchi. Like the Flyers were it felt like such a bigger thing here in Philadelphia at one point. And now they're just a complete afterthought. So it's nice to see the Flyers turning around. Like half of my getting out of hockey, it was the corporate, but it was also the change of the game. So sell me on, are they trying to make it more aggressive, or is it completely taking the aggression out of the game? Because honestly, I used to love watching hockey, and now I watch it, and it's just like it's. Don't get me wrong, the speed is fascinating. They're so quick up and down the ice, but there's not the hitting that there used to be. There's not the fighting. It's not a part of the strategy anymore. If you get too rough, you get the 5 minute, you get thrown out of the game. So sell me on it. Like, is it fun to watch for you, or is it just because it's Philadelphia?
Absolutely.
Or do you like the game of hockey?
I like hockey as a sport. If anything, the Flyers like made me hate hockey. Like they pushed me away from it after everything went down. And to Kevin's point, he's saying they're finally turning the corner. And Chris Therien, I'm sure they've heard some of his opinions that have been strong ones over the years of getting back. Yeah. So no, I mean, I would say to people who say, oh, hockey has changed, I do think it has changed. The speed is definitely more of a factor. Having those legs, and if you can have a young player that can get to, if he's consistently a second or third liner, I think that's a game changer for a lot of these teams, because once you have a young player that can be that impactful, it really shows. And then having veterans on top of that, like the fact that Couturier and Travis Konechny and even Hart, the fact that they're all stepping up this year is absolutely imperative for this team to continue to develop. And hockey's like, this isn't the NBA or the NFL, where if you don't get number 1 through 4, like those are the generational talents and you'll be done. The Flyers look like they have made some great picks, even without a number 1 overall pick when it comes down to the draft and draft order. I think you got to keep rolling in a sport like hockey. You got to keep rolling like this. Yeah, just invest in those veterans, keep these young players developed, keep them motivated to want to be on a roster like this. And I don't know, man. I really do think, especially in a sport like hockey, where an 8 seed very much could be a cup contender, I do think this is something to get behind. And we've seen some fights. I saw a couple fights actually in that Nashville game. I remember watching a fight. I do think the Flyers actually
but
lost
they're
that Nashville
nanny
game,
fights
but
at this point. They're like they break them up so
yeah,
quickly.
at
Like
times. I
remember
don't
that
know.
like multi-line brawl between the Senators and the Flyers? I think it was like 2001, and,
Yeah.
and those just like the bench is cleared and like
What do you
I
want,
wanna
like
see
Ty
it.
Domi versus the fans again, like jumping into the
Yeah,
glass?
yeah. Bring back Ty Domi. Ty
Yeah,
Domi's kid's pretty good, isn't he?
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so before we get on to, let's stay on sports for a little bit because tonight we got a big game. We got the Eagles versus the Seahawks, and I don't want to gloat, but I will. I was right about Nick Sirianni.
Yeah. I
I
look
said a
very,
while back
very
that as a
wrong right now. I mean, I was wrong. I still am wrong. So I don't
like,
know.
like, do you think it's what I said a couple weeks ago? If you were not here with us, is I feared that his aggression, his emotion, is gonna spiral out of control. If we start losing, then there's going to be controversy in the locker room, and he's not going to be able to control it. And slowly, I think we're seeing an implosion. I don't know. Is that how you read the Matt Patricia switch?
I that specifically concerns me because it almost feels like that is coming from Howie or like Lori.
It's weird that it
Which-
comes this
which
late in the week, right?
It really seems like upper level it seems like someone higher up made this decision.
Upper
And
level, or I got a question because Hugh brought this up because they were talking similarly, Joe and Hugh today. Hugh suggested possibly, was it Fletcher or Brandon, with the amount of defensive players that are allegedly flustered, did a locker room leader go into Sirianni's office and request that there be a change?
That's true. I mean, especially with a tenured locker room like the Eagles have with leadership that has a lot of pretty much leeway. I mean, if it came from Howie, inadvertently, that probably means it came from one of those players to that point. So I don't know. That could be. I think if anything, if that's the way it happened, I would feel a little bit better about it because then I feel like Sirianni could understand that and internalize that a little bit compared to if it was just Howie saying or Lori just calling down saying, "Oh, we just have to do this." Like, sorry, we know you're the coach, but we're calling the shots now. Like, I think that's dysfunction. And for as good as the Eagles have been, I really hope it's not that because that's just something. I just think that's like a toxic kind of way to run an organization. And if we want to keep this like level of echelon that the Eagles have right now, they can't be making decisions like that and overriding the coach, even if we are frustrated or he seems like too hoorah for this moment. If that's the case, he'll show it to you and you'll have to make a tough decision. And that's, I think that's how it should go. But in terms of what I think is going to impact the offense, I hope it changes something because they need to wake up. If they are going to make a playoff run, they need to show us they are better than they've been. And they have struggled for weeks now. Like even before
the play
those
calling
two
piss you
losses.
off? Like I'm
Absolutely.
sitting there. Yeah, Maisie's like, "Why are you getting so mad?" I'm like, "Because it's just stupidity. It's stupid
It's
decisions."
asinine half the time. It's just it's stupid. It's I feel like I'm watching high school play calling. I love the tush push, but the reliability of that play and the fact that they just like focus the offense around a play like that is so frustrating. They really need to focus on getting these playmakers into space. They need to do it. Now that Dallas Goedert is back, there is no excuse that you cannot create an offensive game plan with Brown, Smith, Swift, and Goddard.
That's the one that pisses me off is Swift.
You're so able to do that.
Like early in the season, Swift was going off for incredible amounts of yards. Like the running game was among the best in the league. And now we talk about the running game, it's almost non-existent. It's like they just given up on calling runs for the offense. And I wonder if it's like there was a fan response for a while that says, "Oh, we need to pass more. It's a passing league." And they kind of went way in that direction and they haven't since readjusted. You saw the guys out there standing with the signs run the ball. Sirianni bought him breakfast, but apparently he didn't listen to him. It's frustrating, man. I don't know what's going on over there.
I mean, I just think tonight will say a lot about the team, even if Hurts doesn't play. If they kind of show up with no energy, it's it's a huge red flag. It will be screaming dysfunction, and whether Hurts is in or not, I want to see them fighting, tooth and nail, clawing this entire game, and I think they will. I do think they're going to show up. I'm just injury-wise, it is a concerning game injury-wise. Our secondary's already been suspect. Slay is for sure out. Hurts might be out. The offense needs to have a statement game if they want to go on a playoff run. So I don't know. Tonight is kind of that night to me, and if they don't come out swinging tonight, it's hard to think positively.
Like
From
you're
an
playing Drew
NFC.
Lock. Like how do you not beat Drew Lock?
Well,
Seahawks are a good team.
Gino, I think they really want to trot out there because the Seahawks are another team. They really need to lock in and win tonight if they want to make a run. So, the Eagles are in the playoffs now. So in that sense, no. But I think both the Eagles and the Seahawks kind of need a statement win in terms of kind of,
How pissed would the NFL officials be if they flex this game in a Monday night and then they had, who would it be? A Mariota versus Drew Lock?
Like going exactly against why they changed it. Yeah. That's a
so
good
updates on that. Hurts looks like he's going to play. I'm looking at Rap Sheet here, Ian Rappaport, and it looks like Gino's going to be a long shot to play.
Oh, I would have guessed the opposite. It felt like it was trending that Hurts would be out and Gino would be in. I guess looking like the opposite. Hurts is out, man. That is.
Will you read this out loud?
Kelsey Cox, Hurts Swift. Yeah, I saw that. There's been some memes like that. Yeah, Taylor Swift. The Kelsey Swift stuff never is gone. It's always there.
Kevin's the guy behind GregSoccerStucks.com too.
Yeah. It's true.
Thanks for joining us, Kev. I appreciate it, man. The Cybertruck's on a rollout. It's been pictured on the back of some trucks, and a new viral video has gone out of this thing. Interests you at all, the Cybertruck? I'm pulling up the video.
It's pretty cool. It's bulletproof. It is insane.
Bulletproof for?
Well, we live in Philly. It's
true.
good. It's good for us.
Is it carjacking proof?
Yeah. Is there like a machine gun on the top, defending you? It's absolutely insane in every sense of the word. I know there's 3 tiers to it.
Struggling pretty hard here to get up the snowy mountain, though.
That's crazy. I wonder, there is a 2-wheel drive version, so that could be the base model. Compared to there's a 4-wheel drive version as well, and an ultimate, deluxe, souped up version, which I think they all start at 60,000 though, and they go up to 160. I don't know if I'm not necessarily a truck guy. It would be cool to have a truck. I don't necessarily think I'd ever buy one. If I were in the market to buy a truck, I don't think I'd want the Cybertruck. But if I had money to blow and a big enough driveway to keep in a lot of cars, I'd get a Cybertruck. It looks cool, has every tech feature ever. You can use it to power your house if there's ever a fire. If there's ever
well, in California, it makes sense for the wildfires,
Yeah, if there's power outages and stuff like that. So you can use it in a lot of different ways. Or if you go on a camping trip, it can power your entire weekend and then recharge, and you can get out of there. So it's cool. Is it practical? I don't think so. And it's crazy, though, how the guy, Elon Musk...
There's a urinal in the same vein.
That's awesome. It's just really, really ironic, though, how the guy that made all these insane electric cars reality is the one who's also hated the most by people on the left. And I'm not...
Is he trying to kill his legacy, though?
I think he's starting to eat up his own... Yeah, he's just full of himself. I think the media coverage and the villainization of him makes him dig his feet in more and more and more, and kind of... He's
a troll. He likes it.
Well, yeah, but I think at the same time it makes you more vindicated, and I don't know. I just think he's starting to get a little too obsessed with himself because other people are obsessed with him. So,
yeah.
But he's an amazing guy. He really
the decision to do X was such a stupid business decision. I still get angry about that because it's you can tweet you can X formerly tweet me at is what you hear on TV all the time. It's tweets
the
and
platform
actual
formerly known as Twitter.
And it's like an actual dictionary entry now to tweet.
Yeah.
Mike says the D needs to step up tonight, especially with a new play caller. I don't know if this is related at all, but Chris says, I would still bang T-Wow. Chris, what conversation are you having? Are you in a separate chat as well? And are we talking T-Wow from like Jersey Shore? Is that who's talking about?
Oh my god.
Was that her name? Who's T-Wow?
J-Wow, I think it is in Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
So yeah. See, you're a true Jersey guy. You knew that.
Yeah, J-Wow. Yeah, so what I'm doing here is I'm trying to find the context of this post. So Chris, where did this go from? All right. So Civil War, the new trailer, A24 released. A24 we often talk about here on the other side as the favorite studio, I would say, of Anthony. They've been putting out a lot of good stuff. And they recently released a trailer for Civil War. I'll play a little bit of it, and then we'll have a conversation because conspiracy theorists are going crazy with it. Let's see if I can get that going.
19 states have seceded.
The United States Army ramps up activity.
The White House issued warnings to the Western forces as well as the Florida Alliance.
The future president assures the uprising will be dealt with swiftly.
Let me know if you want to try anything on.
I guess aware there's like a pretty huge civil war going on all across America.
We just try to stay out. With what we see on the news, seems like it's for the best.
Citizens of America, the so-called Western
weird choice in
forces
casting
of Texas and California have suffered a very great defeat at the hands of the United States military.
Mr. President, do you regret the use of airstrikes against American citizens?
I think we got the gist of what it's about. But Anthony, it's been in the conspiracy theory circles a little bit. You sent me an article. What are they saying about this?
Yeah, a lot of people are like predictive programming. Why are they putting this out? And I am a little surprised that A24 even kind of touched this project because I think they knew, like, this is with the election coming up and the future of the world is on the brink, and this is what people do. So don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to downplay how important these decisions are. They are very much important. But I think people just acting like this is. I mean, remember the movie 2012? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
When that all happened? This is the same thing. It's the same thing. There's always going to be some like Hollywood guy that's going to try to make some original, insane dystopian movie about something that everyone talks about culturally at the time. That's what it's what happens. That is exactly what happens. And at the very least, at least it is a new original like Hollywood story. I will say I hate how movies do this, especially action movies. Why are you showing me the whole movie?
Yeah, it's the entire plot.
The whole movie in the Why?
Yeah,
show me some like be very, very like I want to know almost nothing. Show me small clips. Like be very almost mysterious with it. Like I don't understand this. It frustrates me. I purposely didn't watch the entire trailer when it came out because I was
everyone that's bitching about the predictive programming are the same people that if he suggested that GTA is causing the crime we're seeing, they'd be like, no, video games don't cause crime. But somehow
that's
what?
Me. That's me.
No, I know, and it's me too. But I'm a conspiracy theorist, but it doesn't even touch my mind. Like I get predictive programming. I understand the suggestion that this is gonna encourage people. My only fear with this, like I'm looking so forward to it. I think it looks great. Is every decade, every couple of years, we have a new monster. For the longest time, it's been zombies, Walking Dead, all that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want the monster of the 2025 up plus to beat each other. Like if this movie's as successful as it is, Hollywood is so copycat. You're going to see so many damn Civil War things come out after this. That's where I'm like.
That's a good point. And I want to point out in a divided America, A24 production, America is split into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separate parts. It's the Republic of California.
Okay.
The Second Republic of Texas, and those are those are separate. Like California as a state and Texas as a state, separate fully. And then the Florida Alliance, which is like 8 southern states all together connected to Florida, and then the Loyalty States, which goes from all the way from pretty much Nevada to Michigan, and even all the way up there to Vermont.
And Loyalty States, I'm assuming, are loyal to each other.
I guess that's what most of the states are. are loyalist states, and then the Midwest to the Upper West is just the Western forces. So it's split into those categories, and it kind of rolls and falls out.
So the question
that way.
becomes, without seeing the movie, without knowing what kind of politics are at play within these regions, which region are you choosing to lay your roots?
Well, the loyalist states include Pennsylvania and Philadelphia, so I feel like we have to naturally. That's
loyalists.
Us. We're loyalists, yeah. Which sounds like almost like the Empire in Star Wars or something. But I'm excited to see it just because we're into politics and news and stuff, and it'll be fun to talk about when it's out.
I would agree. I'm looking, and I can't wait because what the stereotypical conservative reaction is going to be is that it's all about Trump and such. And it's going to be fun to fight against.
I mean, it came out during Biden, so you never know. It could be about Biden. Look at
Chris says, I'd take one being the Cybertruck so I can make it into a Halo Warthog. That sounds like a fantastic. Are you playing Ultimate at all? You play Halo Ultimate at all?
I have. I recently got an Xbox with Game Pass, and I played some of the old Halo 3 missions, but I haven't gone beyond that. I should try to play some of the new ones.
Master Chief Collection is a lot of fun. Me and my nephew were playing.
Is that so? There's a brand new Halo? Like, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Ultimate's like the online equivalent of I'm sorry, what's it called? Fortnite, like the battle royale.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Dropping Call of Duty, the new one that they have.
See, I've always been a PlayStation guy, so I'm so new to the Xbox. I got on a really good deal, so I haven't played in forever, but I'm still not up to speed on all of it.
Chris is going to see Rebel Moon in theaters tomorrow. Hell yeah! Yeah, I thought it was also only on Netflix. You guess you've seen it in theaters. It's pretty cool. You got advanced tickets. Hey, where was I gonna go? I wanted to. Oh, Max Payne. You ever play that game back on like PS2?
Back in the day, yeah.
Time.
Yeah.
The voice actor died recently. Sad. He had cancer, 65 years old. But that's one of those games that whenever I want like a dose of nostalgia, I'll pop that one in because it still just holds up so dang well. It really does.
Something about the video games in that era in general. But
yeah,
that's awful to hear. Awful to hear.
Wonka's in theaters. You check that one out?
I didn't see it yet. I will say very much excited that it's a different take on the Wonka story. It's pretty much about his come up and how Wonka comes to be, the master chocolatier that everyone knows him to be. So I'm excited from that standpoint. I think Timothée Chalamet is a very good actor. But I don't know if he's just stretching himself a little too thin ever since Dune. I would hope Dune is kind of his focus anyway, because Dune 1 was really good. But I've heard a lot of mixed things about this Wonka story. I really want to like it, but I just have a feeling it's not going to be great. But I'll say this: we always talk about new stories, new Hollywood stories. What are we looking for? I'm happy that they're at least taking a chance on. I know it's still a story that people know, but at least it's a new, different story.
Well, the ironic thing is it's actually the original story.
Yeah,
it's pretty much what's going back to. Like, it's Roald Dahl's initial, telling of the comeuppance of Willy Wonka and how he became famous. And obviously, it's going to be very neutered because essentially, if you read the original book, Oompa Loompas were slaves. They were actually black at first, and then everything changed and it's evolved. But you're going to get the kind of new age telling of the original story. I'm looking forward to it, man. Like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Charlie. I mean, Gene's. No one can beat Gene. Don't get me wrong, but it's not true to the story. It's not true to the original book, and I've never read the book, but I'm excited to see what can be done with it and see where it evolves. Because I can't imagine that they're launching this with one movie only and not planning some kind of franchise like everything else that they do.
Well, and that's, I think, another problem with Hollywood in general. Like, why can't, if I am, we'll review it. We'll watch this over the Christmas break. We'll review it and we'll talk about the movie. But if that is something, I think that's another problem with Hollywood, where everything, it has to be part of this bigger universe, and it has to be, a trilogy, or it has to be a spinoff series and X, Y, and Z. Just put your energy into making that current thing really good. And I think naturally the other stuff will come if they, if people want to, or if it's, creative enough to have that next chapter. I think there's too much of a focus on that.
I've not seen this one. Have you watched Secret Life of Henry Sugar yet? Came out starring Benedict Cumberbatch. It's a short. So Have you?
I love
Did you order
Benedict.
it?
I haven't seen that, but I will definitely check that out.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, available there. I love these suggestions, guys. Keep them coming in. Kevin and Chris are like right in our alley of stuff to check out
Now,
ourselves.
speaking of Netflix, let me bring this up to you. Since I'm a millennial that shares like streaming accounts between my family, Netflix was one of the ones that my mom had technically, but I'd always use her login. And now, ever since Netflix was ruined by all the people that exploited their service, now I have to suffer the consequences.
Hold on. You're telling me, as somebody that exploited the service, complaining about people who exploited
I did
the
not
service.
exploit the service. I pay
You
for
just
other
told me you're using your mom's name.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, she pays
I pay
for
for my own
that.
damn account. Now I got to pay $10, $15 extra.
Yeah, but she pays for that, but I pay for other streaming services. I let her log into those, so it's like, you know.
Oh, there's a trade. Okay.
Yeah, it's just like trade off. But any other streaming service, you're allowed to use it at different. What if you own multiple houses? You're allowed to watch things at multiple house if you own multiple. It's stupid. It's stupid. They're just
Hulu does
mad.
it too. Like, they'll automatically log you out if you go to a different TV sometimes.
They're just mad that there's other options out there now. That's literally all it is. And I get it. You can say I explored it, whatever. But as a millennial, yeah, I now watch Netflix on my iPad, and I refuse to make my own account and pay for it because they made me so angry. So I don't know. I'm ready to give in though, because I do miss watching Netflix on my TV.
So premium is $22.99 a month. I didn't realize this. It's only $15.49 still.
But premium, you could have multiple households. I think that's what it is. Maybe I could just do premium. That could be the thing. That might be.
So standard, you can add one extra member. So I'm looking at here. I think they must have redone this because this is not how I remember it. Standard, it's unlimited ad-free. Watch on 2 supported devices at a time. Watch in full HD. Download on 2 supported devices. An option to add one extra member who doesn't live in the same house. And then premium is 4 supported devices, Ultra HD, so they're 4K with their Dolby Atmos and all that.
Okay.
Download on 6 supported devices, option to add 2 extra members, and then spatial audio. So if you have like a crazy home theater setup, I guess you're swinging for that big one. But dude, it's so damn expensive. And Netflix, recently I've been rechecking out a lot of their stuff because they've been doing a lot of good advertising with their top 10 most watched and all. And I've gone back and revisited some, but they don't put out the quality that some of these other services do that warrants that kind of ridiculous price.
Yeah. Well, I think that's another problem they run into. Other than I feel like they have a monopoly on streaming with stand-up comedy. Really, most of the other services have nothing when it comes to stand-up. But other than that, all their originals used to be amazing. And now it's that, like you said, the quality has fallen off.
Yeah. One thing that did very much impress me, though, is I suggest checking this one out. Let's see if I can get it to work. Is it working?
This is the story
of
World War II.
All right, I don't feel like making people suffer through their crap. So World War II from the front lines came out earlier this month. I talked about it on the Dom show today, and dude, the footage is nuts. I'll try to get it in the background without the music. But what they're able to do is they take film footage that was shot by soldiers from all sides. So you have Russian footage, you have Nazi footage, and they colorize it, and essentially it's narrated by John Boyega there, and takes you step by step as the war unfolded into the front lines with a live video from it's crazy how they do it. It's really good. I highly suggest. I put it on yesterday just to kind of take a break from football and ended up watching 3 episodes with my stepdad. So do suggest, Anthony. You like the World War II crap, Band of Brothers? Were you ever into that show at all?
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to think. Was that the HBO series? Was that Band of Brothers? I feel like there's another one that I was thinking of that I used to always watch too.
I feel like there are a couple. Let's see. World on Fire, The Pacific.
The Pacific, yeah. Pacific I loved. Yeah, I love The Pacific.
Yeah, I'm a big war movie nerd just because it takes a lot of balls to do what those people do that I don't have. So I live vicariously, I guess, through a lot of them. Really, last thing I want to ask you about before we get out of here, but you can feel free to take the mantle. Tim Cook finally announced his first ever innovation as the leader of Apple, releasing the Vision Pro. And I was against this thing for a while. What it is it's an augmented reality goggle, essentially, that you put on your face, and it brings you, similar to what they were trying to do with Google Lens or Google Glass, and I poo-pooed it at first, but they have this really cool thing where you can like take pictures that you took with iPhones of like dead people even, and put on the glasses and relive the video from like the setting, like where you were sitting, and it's pretty cool, man. It's like I don't know if you ever saw that Black Mirror episode where they save the memories and you can revisit them. But it kind of feels like that a little bit. It's technology's getting pretty far.
It really does actually feel exactly like that, and it's horrifying essentially, but it's also really, really cool. I don't know. I'm someone who's an Apple nerd. I have plenty of Apple devices. I've even, there's been multiple times where I'm like, oh, I'm not going to get another one, and then I do. So I think anything they can do to advance these things is really, really, really cool. But this is the kind of thing that they're going to do. This is such an early implementation. Not a lot of people are going to get it. I mean, even, I guess with being a radio employee, I don't necessarily want to invest in something like that anyway. But seriously, it's like, it's for any normal, come on, that's really expensive. It's not realistic. I mean, the phones alone now cost $1,000, let alone like your home desktop and your iPad. That sometimes alone is $1,000, maybe $2,000, depending on what model you get. So this vision thing, it's going to really be niche, I think, to kick off. But technology like this and Apple kind of taking that next step, it's really important. I think people complain about the new iPhones because there isn't enough new cool technology. Them opening up the door with a new device like this and kind of expanding what the Apple devices and ecosystem can do, it's something to be excited about, because finally, to what you're saying, technology will feel new again. Like, remember when you were a kid, you played the Wii for the first time, or you put on a VR headset for the first time.
It's been a while since I've had that feeling too, of just, this feels so cool and fresh, and this is fascinating. Like I think the last time I can remember it was probably the switch from CRTs to LED TVs, like flat screen TVs. Look at the high definition for the first time.
I remember when I first got HD cable, my mom was like, I can't tell a difference. And I'm like, you're crazy. Like, what do you mean? My
mom said the same thing. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like there's huge, are your eyes functioning?
Yeah. I was like, do you need better glasses?
Yeah.
What's up with this? Yeah.
Your comment there about not wanting to support it because you're a radio guy. I hope this works, man, because it's worth it. It reminds me of this clip from, here you go.
I gotta tell you, boys, I couldn't be more excited about this jump. When people hear me describing it over the radio, they are going to remember that AM radio is a viable and modern source for news and entertainment. Totally. I used to be #1 in this town, but people don't listen to AM like they used to. Seems like it's more about FM and color TV. That's stupid. It sure is, Kevin. In fact, I've got a tattoo here that fully illustrates my point. It's of this rebellious young man, and he's urinating on an FM radio. And then this other stream of urine is going on to that television set. Plausible, I know, but I like to imagine that he had sex the night before, and now a little bit of residue is blocking his urethra, allowing the urine to flow in 2 separate directions. You may also note that an AM radio is sitting safely dry in the middle.
It's all a little magic carpet there. Oh, yeah, look at that.
Now, Rod, I've spent the station's last $15,000 on this. So it has to be a big success. You understand?
That's too relatable.
Count on me, sir.
Excellent. This is the big one, boys. This is the one that brings us back. Soon, AM radio will reign king once more.
No way too many people like that in our industry.
Oh my God, dude. That's what SNL stopped getting good when Andy Samberg and all them left. They were, even if you didn't love them, I wouldn't say they were my favorite, but they were funny, man. They really were.
Hot Rod is the last movie I can think of that I just laughed out loud at.
I love Hot Rod. I don't get why people don't like that movie.
I know. It's really stupid, but I think that makes the appeal,
Doesn't that play to millennials? I don't know. That's why I like it.
Speaking of, final topic I'll throw you is a little political. You see the progressive reaction to John Fetterman.
Dude, what's going on? I like him now. I like him because of his support for Israel, and I think he's being level-headed. I do. I think, as much as I have criticisms of the guy, I think he's being very level-headed, especially what he said about George Santos and Bob Mendez and everything. I thought that was very level-headed. I like what he's doing lately. This abandonment thing, man. Like I will say to their credit, if progressives start calling out their politicians, I'll give them a pat on the back, because this constant like acting like these people do what they say they're going to do.
Well, they only call them out when they're not abiding by what they want.
That's true.
Like right now, they should be calling out Krasner because he's making progressives look like a complete ass of themselves. But they're not going to do that because he's trying to propagate their policies. So.
Yep.
Chris says, nah, instead now we have the 1210 and the 480p.
Oh yeah. Our camera debacle this morning. Yeah. Dude, well, I fixed the camera. I fixed it. Don't worry.
Yeah, so you come in today, and so we have like a whole set of cameras that are set up in the studio, and they're just strewn all over the place with wires hanging out, and hope all goes well.
Always a good day at the studios there at 1210.
Nick's new cam is Fire HD. Yeah, you can thank Anthony for that one, Chris. That's all Anthony's doing.
Yeah, that's like one of those like Video Now cameras that people used to get back in the day, like in 2008.
Oh wait, he actually has a bad camera that you're talking about?
He did.
You were talking about the beautiful camera that you had set up in the morning for him.
Oh, it didn't work. Yeah, that was our whole. We finally fixed it though. Tomorrow we'll be back up and running, Chris. So your YouTube will look beautiful.
You guys went like a 2001 webcam?
It looked terrible. Yeah, it looked terrible.
I love it. What else do you want to talk about before we get out of here? Anything you got?
I would just say, well, I think we first need to, at the very least, give our prediction for tonight. So I know we mentioned the Eagles earlier, but when it comes down to score, upper or over under, et cetera, let me pull it up, see if the line moved. Right now, over under is at 45. Okay. I'm kind of feeling over just with how bad the Eagles defense has been. Geno trending to play.
Dude, but you got Drew Lock at quarterback, really? Still going the over?
Isn't Geno?
No, Geno. So Ian says it's a long shot for him to play.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, then I guess.
Has the line been adjusted since that came out, I wonder?
Probably. I'm looking at the live line right now. It is 45. Maybe I would take under then. You're right. Especially what if it does end up not being Hurts? If it's Mariota versus Drew.
Like say Hurts, it's like a stinger,
Yeah.
And actually, the line shifted in Eagles' favor, too. They're now 4-point favorites instead of 3.5, which they were earlier.
And money line right now, Seahawks plus 172 for the money line. I don't know. I think I might go under there then, and the Eagles to cover 4. If Geno's out, I think the Eagles have this.
I like that. So here's what I got in a parlay. I didn't bet anything yet, but I was thinking about doing it. It's Eagles covering the spread. You got anytime touchdowns from Jalen Hurts, Kenneth Walker, thinking that they're going to have to play the ground game. Under 45 and 200 plus passing yards for Hurts. So low, like I bumped it down, his total passing yards. $5 will win you 169.77. You think it's a good bet, or how are you feeling about Hurts scoring?
We said the bet last time was good, and that went well. So I would say this is a good bet tonight, just because if the Eagles are going to win, it's going to be a game like this where, I mean, Geno Smith, people would have said maybe this is a struggle, but I do think the Eagles can cover that. But if it's under, are we still worried about the offense? I think I am.
Yeah. The thing is, like, Matt Patricia's playing for his job tonight too, though.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like the defense is what offense we want here in Philadelphia to see the offense shine. But I think there's more on the table for the defensive players and coaches that they're going to have to step up and shine. And unless like Seahawks get completely blown out, which I don't see happening. Like I honestly, if I were going to make a prediction, if I weren't betting on it, I might say 24-20 Seahawks.
I was going to say maybe even like 24-14 or something like that. Like kind of middle of the road.
This under one's killing me though. What I've been doing recently, and I've been having a lot of fun with it because it makes me, I'm pretty much out on most of my fantasy playoffs besides my big league with like the Devy players, the college players. I bet essentially the minimums for all the games. Like I'll go to the player props and I'll bet like 25 yards for Daryl Mooney and like just random names throughout, and I'll bet the complete minimum prop bet. It's a lot of fun to follow, but I haven't hit. Yesterday I had a 25 leg parlay betting the minimums. I bet $5 to win. I think it was like 3,500, and came 2 legs short out of my 25.
It's always the worst.
Tough, man.
That sucks. Did you
All right.
see the Mooney drop? Speaking
Yeah.
of that, with the Bears.
Yeah, well, that's
Oh
why I
my
bring the damn name
God.
up. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. 20-17 Eagles comes from Mangle. Hey, Mangle, thanks for joining us. It's one of my favorites from the Dom Show broadcasts. It's always in there. Him and Minnie. All right, so finally, I'm going to make this bet right now as we speak. Philadelphia Eagles -4. Jalen Hurts, Kenneth Walker, anytime touchdowns. Jalen Hurts 200 plus passing yards under 45. $5 to win 169. Bet is placed.
Let's go. Let's
hold
ride.
on.
I'm gonna put in the same thing. We're
You know,
riding.
I
together.
always forget to do this thing though. But FanDuel, I don't know how they do this, but they have awesome freaking promos. I sound like I'm doing an ad. I promise I'm not. But that's all.
Oh,
I
you have
know
to
is
do the
FanDuel.
opt-in.
Yeah, the opt-in things. That's why I get annoyed. I'm like, why do I have to opt into it? If you're gonna offer the promo, dude, just let me select it when I'm making my bet. Okay,
Use
no
code
promos.
DOM. That's what Dan wants to tell you.
Yeah, it's the first time, guys. So I tried that. Tried that many times. My addiction has surpassed my monetary obligation to FanDuel. They're making money off of us.
Yeah, right.
Chris says 30-27, something around there. Birds. I like the positivity for the Birds. I think hopefully it shines through.
Let's hope so. And one final note, I just want to say, so first of all, Joel Embiid quietly has more points scored this season than he has minutes played. And he's like far and away the number one MVP candidate again, on top of Patrick Beverley out here just going to courts in West Philly and playing pickup ball alone. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just really this
That's
team.
An awesome move.
I feel like they're very down to earth, and you know,
is that an awesome move or is that a dangerous move?
Well, I mean, he's from Chicago, so
Yeah,
I think he's kind of.
If you got $1 million on the line and you're going out to pick up courts, I'm not even talking necessarily of West Philadelphia. I'm talking more of a basketball player going and playing casual basketball for no reason. It's an injury risk.
Yeah, no. Could you imagine if he like dripped on a rock and broke his leg? It's like the Kelly Oubre incident all over again. But I just love how genuine the team feels. It seems like they're having fun playing basketball, and I don't know if they were having fun these past few years at all. So it doesn't seem as wholesome or as genuine as like when we broke down that Flyer segment. But I think the Sixers, if you're not watching the Sixers either, it's a fun watch. And I mean, it's been like a pleasure. It's not stressful. I used to be stressed, like pulling my hair out watching the Sixers. Now it's like they just flow on the court. They're like winning every game by at least 8 points. Doing it? I think he definitely helps. I think he's by far the best coach they've had with Joel Embiid. It's not even close. Like Brett Brown was fine for like developing, but Doc was just a mess. And I think Nick Nurse is very, very talented and it's showing.
I think I have some footage of Beverly playing on the court out there in West Philly. Let me see. Oh, look at him! Look at him! All right, let's get out of here.
Like a true radio guy.
Look at me. I can't even control my technology. There it is. There it is. I stopped it. Yeah, thanks for the compliment as I screw up. Anthony, anything big going on with Kale and Company? Dawn, you plan to have a video here on YouTube tomorrow of the Kale and Company?
Yeah, we'll have video actually, and even with the vacations, we'll still have a lot of video coming your way. Matt Rooney, Mary Walter, Dan and I also might even maybe we'll dabble in some video when we fill in again.
We gotta underline that. We forgot to say anything.
Yeah, no, December 22nd, 10 a.m. till 12 p.m. Yeah, this Friday. What is that? Christmas Eve?
What do you want to talk about?
Like that. I don't know. We could talk about what Santa got you.
Of all time. Yeah, you know what I want?
What's that?
Sorry, I don't mean to keep going. Have you seen the new Steam Deck and the ROG Ally?
The Steam Deck is sick.
I asked Maisie for an ROG Ally myself. Because Steam Deck, there's like a huge back order on it.
Oh, okay.
But I just want to play backyard football in handheld mode or backyard baseball. So I asked Maisie for an ROG Ally. Let's see.
There's a new, if you have a PlayStation, they made a new handheld that you can, it's not a PSP, but it's kind of like the new PSP. You have to have a PlayStation to connect to it though.
Well, that sucks. I don't have a PlayStation.
Yeah, so it's not
PlayStation Portal.
Yeah, it's not like a Nintendo Switch or like what you're talking about. It isn't its own device. but I've been eyeing that up just because I would love to just play Spider-Man sitting in bed.
Well, that's the thing is my Switch gets so much use just in bed playing 2K. Like how many
Yeah.
fantasy drafts I've done on my league. My GM's I don't want to say it's a crappy mode. My GM, I don't like it. There's too much involved. I just like the my league running 3 seasons.
Yeah.
When's Chris showing up with bottle of whiskey for the show? We got to be careful here because if we tell him, he'll actually show up for the studio. Bring us over another bottle. No, I'm kidding. We're going to be live 10 to 12 on Friday. Dawn Stenslin, come join us. We would very much like for you to call in. Kevin, Chris, please feel free. Also, the backbone for Xbox. I did see that.
Yeah, yeah. Those are cool. That's you just connect that to your phone and it essentially plays like one of those portal things, like connects to your Xbox or PlayStation. And also, before we wrap, if you're a morning show listener, etc.,
Bring an Irish goodbye our show.
Yeah. We also have Tony Bruno and Harry Mays reuniting next week, and we'll have them.
Really?
Yeah, they'll be in studio and on video. They'll be with me from 6 till 10. And yeah, that'll be quite the whirlwind of a show. So
I don't mean to go down this path at all, but it's freaking awesome having Tony Bruno on our airwaves.
No, I mean,
like
beautiful, man.
I'm trying to pull up here. This was like I would spend at least 4 hours a day listening to his voice, doing stuff like this. Let me see if I can pull it up. Used to be the little radio
show today.
show
We are joined by a very talented running back, a man who dominated during his college days.
When the franchise in Madden was actually good, and
went on
there was depth to it.
26 touchdowns in his
I don't even know how they technologically did it, but Tony would actually talk like a radio show while you were playing Madden that was relevant to what was happening that week in the game, and somehow it would adjust. Back in 2004, 2005, and I always say Tony Bruno is Howard Stern's my most listened to voice outside of family in my entire life. I think Tony Bruno's a close number 2, just because of the amount of Madden that I played with him behind there. So it's always cool. So him and Harry are reuniting. When are they doing that?
Yeah. They'll be reuniting. I believe that's December 29th. They will be on the airwaves that morning together, and they'll be filling in here and there on their own as well. Moving forward, it's just with the holidays, it's hectic schedule, but it'll be really fun. I know a lot of people, especially that listen to Nick. Nick used to produce with them, so it'll be good little reuniting moment for all of them.
It's fun working with all these different people. Mary Walter. I used to, for the listeners, back in the Shore, me and Mary would do a show that was like Delilah, where people would call in and like ask for life advice, and it was called Life with Mary Walter. And this is going back 8 years now. And like me and Mary were so close, I'd go up to her house for Christmas and such. And there's not many more people to work with that are fun to work with than Miss Mary Walter. So I'm kind of jealous that you'll get to work with her a little bit as well.
Well, I'll tell her you said hello.
Well, let me also say, I mean, Dom's amazing. Dom's like,
yeah, he's like, I hate Dom. Yeah,
Dom sucks. No, Dom is amazing to work with, but Mary's also a lot of fun. Chris says, I put Madden on my computer once. My grandfather sat down and started watching it. I actually had the same experience with the side view on NBA 2K on an Xbox 360. My dad walked into the room. He goes, oh, those Hawks are looking real different than I remember. I'm going to go, yeah, Dad, because it's a fantasy draft, not a real game. It's like, oh, you're not watching real? Yeah, come on. All right, Dom Giordano tomorrow. What do we got? We got stuff. We got a lot of stuff. I can't think right now. We'll hopefully have a state senator that's involved with that state Senate Bill 140, which Larry Krasner has gotten super angry about the 500 yards from SEPTA. He can't prosecute allegedly, but I think it's if he just chooses not to prosecute, someone else comes in and does the job for him since he refuses to do the job. So tune in. We'll be talking about that and other things on the Dom Show. And until then, Anthony, you have a great couple of days. And we'll see you on Friday at 10 a.m. with Dawn Stenslin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tune in 6 till 12. We'll be there every day. And with the fill-ins, we'll see you Friday.
See you Friday. Bye, everybody.